All right, guys, we are going to jump in a portal and take a time warp back to December 12th, 2012. Strap in, buckle up, because it might get turbulent up in here, and we're going to discuss an article that I wrote for a website, MMAfreak.com, on this date. Let's go. The current top 5 pound for pound ranking. This is an article that I wrote for this website on December 12th, 2012. Let's see what I wrote then. Let's see how it holds up today. Coming in at number 5. Mambo number 5. Number 5 was Anderson the Spider Silva. At the time of this article, he was 33-4. 33-4. He just came off of the huge win against Stephan Bonnar. You guys remember that fight against Stephan Bonnar, right? That's the fight where he put his back against the cage. He'd say, come on, come on. And then he would fight off the cage. Off the cage. It was incredible. There's one historic moment in that fight that I remember the best. He's telling him, he's like, come on, come on, come on. And Stephan Bonnar goes for that spinning kick. Bam, throws the kick. And Anderson just clearly goes. And his foot hits like bang right here against the cage. That was insane. Anderson the Spider Silva, I have as number 5. Incredible. Precision striking, power striking, was ahead of the game mentally. Fought everywhere from the most dominant 185 champion of all time, would fight at 205. He came in at number 5 for me. Now, on to number 4. Number 4 is George St Pierre. At the time of the article, he was 23-2. 23-2. Incredible. Known as, arguably, I don't care about anybody today, still to this day holds weight, the greatest welterweight in the history of the UFC. Has to be. Body of work speaks for itself. Length of time, only hiccup was Matt Serra. Incredible. The first time he met Matt Hughes, the guy was incredible. I think his fighting style would have worked, his body size, his frame, would have worked at any weight class, up or down. Preferably up. At the time of this article, he had just fought Carlos Condis, got that W, and his sights were set in on Nick Diaz. What an incredible fight. Post writing this article later in life, he comes back and takes the championship belt from Michael Bisping. Exactly why he comes in at number 4 on my best pound for pound list. On to number 3. Number 3. It's got to be Jon Jones. Jon Bones Jones could easily go to the heavyweight division. Jon Jones has cleaned the light heavyweight division out and has forever and ever and ever. Amen. At the time of writing this, he was 17-1. His one was against Matt Hamill, which was the 12-6 elbows. I don't know if I hold that against him. I don't know that that would be called today. That's a blemish on his record. I know that people have talked about getting it removed or a no contest or I don't know. Regardless, it's there. At the time of writing this, he had just beat Vitor Belfort. In incredible fashion, mind you. Almost gets his arm broke. Remember that? He fights through that adversity. He fights through that adversity. Words are hard. What's adversary? Not a word, so don't know what that one means. But he fights through it and then submits him later in the match. His eyes were set on Chael Sonnen at the time of this article. That's who he was looking to face. And if we remember anything, he destroyed my man. Sonnen. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2. So this is a wild card. let's get into it. What a wild card. Number 2, we are finally here. This one's going to get me some hate on the internet. I know it. And I'm racking my brain on why I even put this guy on a top 5 pound-for-pound list. But I did. His name is Junior Dos Santos. At the time of writing it, he was 15-1. Junior Dos Santos had the body type that he easily could have cut to 205. Post writing this in 2020, just the other day, if you go to his Instagram or his Twitter, he's actually cutting weight. And he looks like he's going to take his next fight at 205. So it kind of goes hand in hand with what I'm talking about. Junior Dos Santos, at the time of this article, had the best boxing, okay? He had the best boxing in the heavyweight division. And arguably the best boxing in the UFC. Hands down. I don't know that anyone was as good as a pure boxer as Junior Dos Santos. At the time of writing this, he just defeated Frank Mir and was scheduled to face Cain Velasquez. We know what happened there. Nonetheless, we have made it to our number 1. Let's go. My number 1 still holds true to this day. Coming in with the saltiest record. I'm telling you, he's got the saltiest record on here. Records don't always tell the whole truth. This guy's record is 26-8. And at the time, it was 26-8. 2012. None other than Nick Diaz. When I wrote this article, he just suffered that loss against Carlos Condit. Remember that in the Carlos Condit fight where Carlos shows that spinning back fist? And he goes, oh, we're throwing spinning stuff now? We're keeping it PG-13. We're throwing spinning stuff now? Remember that? That was incredible. What a fight. At the time of this article, he has a standing offer to fight GSP. Now, we know, because it's in the past, it's the history, that those two fought. And Nick had an incredible 4th and 5th round, in my opinion. Why I have him as my number 1 pound-for-pound fighter is easy. He accepts all fights. He always shows up to fight. He's a Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Incredibly gifted boxer. Not a lot of power. Volume boxer. Lots of volume. The guy has fought at lightweight, welterweight, and catchweight twice at 179 and 180, I believe. Nick Diaz goes down for me personally as the greatest pound-for-pound fighter in the history of mixed martial arts. I stand by it today. At me if you want to. At me. But think about what you're going to say before you come at me. Because the history books don't lie. They're there. They tell a story. And Nick fought at 4 weight classes. You didn't say 180, 175, the whole 179 thing, and 180s between 175 or 170 and 185. But he still took those fights. They were catch fights, catch weights. Think about it. That's what Chael Sonnen calls gangster weights. And my boy from 209 fights at gangster weight. And that's why I pick him as my number 1 pound-for-pound fighter. Let me know what you think. Times have changed. The times are a-changing. I know for a fact that I would not put Junior Dos Santos on my pound-for-pound list today. I would replace him with BJ Penn. BJ Penn has to make it on there. At one time, BJ Penn left the UFC to chase more competition, but he fought Lyoto Machida at light heavyweight. Little BJ Penn. BJ Penn has to make the list. So at this point, I'm probably going to put GSP. I'll put Nick as number 1, GSP at number 2. I'll put Anderson Silva at 3, Jon Jones at 4, BJ Penn at number 5. What do you think of that list? That's off the top of my head. I just dropped it here. Let me know what you think. What are your top 5 pound-for-pound fighters of all time? Pound for pound. Joe Rogan has Demetrius Johnson. Mighty Mouse, he's got him. You know, Schaub has Jon Jones. Who do you guys think? What are your top 5, though? You know, Randy Couture pops in the head. He fought at heavyweight and light heavyweight. That counts as pound for pound, baby. He's fighting in 2 divisions. I'm just curious what you guys think. Thanks for tuning in on this one. I also want to say thank you for watching another episode. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, leave a comment, and hit that like button. I appreciate it more than you know. I will try to bring you MMA content from my life. I'm going to keep them coming, man. I appreciate you guys.